From bestseller to the big screen. The Girl on the Train is based on the 2015 mega hit bestseller by Paula Hawkins, and oh my goodness, that book was everywhere last year. It was taking over everything. No matter where you go, you're bumping into somebody who has a copy, you're driving down the road and you see kids standing on the street corner selling books. Well, maybe not that. That's going a little bit too far, but it was everywhere. And I mean, I admit, I eventually gave in and got myself a copy and read it, and it's a pretty good book. And then, I found out that they were making it into a movie, and I was pretty excited. Found out that it was going to star Emily Blunt, got even more excited, and then I saw the trailer for the movie, and that's kind of where my excitement ended. But here we are! The Girl on the Train is directed by Tate Taylor and tells the story of Rachel Watson, played by the fantastic Emily Blunt, an alcoholic who recently divorced her cheating husband Tom, played by Justin Theroux, and who spends her days commuting back and forth on a train to and from New York. So every day she boards this train and it takes her past her old house, now occupied by Tom and his new squeeze Anna, played by Rebecca Ferguson, and their daughter Evie. Now all the more interesting is that a few houses down live Scott and Megan Hipwell, played by Luke Evans and Haley Bennett, an attractive young couple, and Rachel can't help but become obsessed with them and fantasize about them while watching them from the train, thinking about them every single time she passes by. But things are not all that they appear to be, as one day as Rachel's going by on the train, she sees Megan kissing another man. And then, after a night of heavy drinking, Rachel wakes up bloody and bruised with no recollection of what happened the night before, and it just so happens to be at the same exact time that Megan goes missing. After being questioned by the authorities and practically labeled a suspect, Rachel begins to slowly unravel and uncover the clues as to not only what happened to Megan, but what happened to her the night that Megan went missing. And the movie at that point becomes more of a psychological thriller and murder mystery, and I can't get into too much without giving a whole lot away, so I'm just gonna stop right there. But this is a story of broken people, and it reminds us that what we see is not always what we get. And what we believe or perceive to be true is not always the case. And the story is one of the biggest things that this movie has going for it. Well, along with Emily Blunt, who gives a fantastic performance. I mean, she always does, but she really is great in this movie. But the story is intriguing, it's fascinating, it's mysterious, and it's sad, and unfortunately the movie capitalizes on almost none of that. The storyline in the film bounces around, as it does in the novel, but at the beginning of the movie, we're given separate introductions to each female character, like, a black screen, and then a name pops up, and then it goes to that character, and then it stops. And then the movie proceeds to bounce back and forth between the past and the present, and it does so in the beginning and the middle of the movie with a purpose. It, says like 6 months ago or 4 months ago, whatever, a week ago. And then towards the end of the movie, it gets lazy. It'll cut back to the past and then cut back to the present, but you're not sure, okay, are we still in the past? Is this now in the present? You don't really know unless you're really, really, really paying attention, or until a character says something like, that's happening right now. But I feel like my biggest problem with this movie is its lack of depth. Now, as I already said, I have read the book, and in the book, there's so much more to the character of Rachel, and you actually grow to care about her. You learn more about her situation, and she's more relatable. When I was watching the movie, all I kept thinking to myself was, you're a drunk, you have problems, you need help. And that's not really what you want out of your main character. And then also, who are you supposed to care about in this movie? You're sitting there and you're watching it, and for me personally, I kept thinking to myself that these are a bunch of ugly people or uninteresting people, and I don't really care about them. You don't latch on to them. There's nothing to really draw you in and make you care about them, and I can't forgive the movie for that. And maybe it is because I read the book, and the book is so much better than the movie, but still, I almost have to think that this movie was rushed. The bestseller just came out last year, and so here we are a year later, and the movie is already out. And maybe if they had taken a little bit more time with the story, actually developing characters and making you care, making you interested, they would have given us a better product. But for what it is, I'm just going to go ahead and give The Girl on the Train a C. And it's pretty much getting a C based on the fact that the story is interesting. The mystery of what's happened to Megan, the mystery of what's going on with Rachel, it is interesting. It is involving. And Emily Blunt is fantastic. But you have to be able to care about the characters, and I didn't. So that's it, guys. I would just go ahead and say, read the book, avoid the movie, or wait for it to come out on Netflix if you're really all that interested. But definitely, you should check out the book. It's far better. And that's all I've got. So, yeah, if you liked this video, hit the like button. And if you want more movie reviews, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you guys next time.